Hello everyone and welcome back to 35mm. Today we have an amazing guest, the king of AI in Nigeria, in the world, in Africa actually, because I don't see a lot of people using AI the way he does it in his creative process. So together with a very loud ovation on the other side of the screen, help me welcome the one and the only Felix Crown.
It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Good to have you here. How did you get into photography?
Far back 2014, 2015, thereabouts, towards the conclusion of my university years. So, like everybody's thoughts, what is the next step?
Absolutely.
So I asked myself that question, and then I did this in relation to my dad, who was an accountant in a firm at the time. I'm like, do I want to do 9 to 5? Do I want to go into that lane? I'm like, nah, I'm not sure that's for me. So I really thought deeply, and I'm like, okay, how about I try to understand where I'm coming from? What are the things that really sparked my interest? What made my heart jump? And one of the major thing about my journey was that as a teenager, I had this peculiar interest in photography. Maybe not photography, because I did not know what that was. I just knew there was a camera that I forced my mom to get, and then I was just playing around with and all of that. So that gave me the direction to go into photography. I'm like, okay, if that sparked my interest when I was growing up, I think maybe there could be a purpose behind it. So I pursued it, and that is how I got into photography. It's a very, very interesting field to be in for me personally. It's a way to express myself, and in expressing myself, I find joy in it. So yeah.
So in 2016, what camera did you get? What was the first
It
one?
was a Nikon D5100.
Wow. And now what do you use?
I use a Nikon Z8.
Come on. He's giving Nikon loyalty.
Yeah, I started with Nikon. I love the color science because Nikon gives you what you see. Immediately it sets your temperature to how you want it to be. It gives you exactly what you're saying with your eyes. So I like that. Let me get the colors I'm saying. Do not put a tint or anything on it.
So at what point did you start integrating AI into your creative workflow?
I started integrating AI in 2025. I believe 2023 December. Yes.
And why was that?
So, as we all know, locations in Lagos are ridiculously high. I mean, when a new location comes in, people rush to it. Before you know it, it is stale, they overuse it and all of that. So I would say I've practically used or shot in almost all the locations in Lagos. I was tired. I was at the point where I'm like, I need to express a particular form of art. And the way I can do that is use this particular kind of background. You understand? To tell the story that I want to sell. So there's a story that I want to tell with every client that I shoot. Their story comes from their personality, their experience, their essence, their person, right? And to tell that story, I can't do that only on plain backgrounds, on the very usual locations. To stand out, then I went and searched for how to make that happen. And the use of AI that I do, or the way I use it, is practically not new. It is composite, and people have been doing compositing over the years. You understand? What AI was able to do for me was create every single element that I'm supposed to bring into Photoshop to create this composite. So, for example, I want to create a background overseeing the ocean. I need a picture of the ocean, I need a picture of a rooftop, I need pictures of all this and bring them together, skyline and everything, and I have to imagine the amount of time that I would have to spend on it. So what AI does for me is I just put in the prompts that I'm already thinking in my head, get this done. It doesn't get it 100% at first, but because it's a dialogue, it's a generative AI where you can tweak your prompts and everything, it creates it for me. So the incorporation of AI into my work came from that point of I need to be able to tell my story how I want it to be told in my head. For example, I did a shoot for Kiki, and I remember it was a shoot for the premiere of Bridgerton. You understand? And we all know how Bridgerton's set was like and everything. to get that set done, it's going to take a lot of manpower, a lot of capital, and all. Exactly. And you communicate this with the clients. They weigh the options of, is this actually worth it?
Absolutely.
Do you understand? I mean, it's a premiere that you just show up, wear the outfit one time, and all of that. But I still want to be able to tell that story. I want the essence of why you're going for what you're going for, your personality, to still reflect in my work. You understand? And there is no place like that, I believe, in Lagos right now. You understand? So I did create that background, and it told the story that I wanted it to tell.
So besides Kiki, can you give us another example of when you used AI to enhance the output of a project?
Okay, that one particular example that really still stands out to me right now, even in the in the days to come, will be a job that I did for Mrs. Joyce Awoshika. A mood board or our idea of vision is usually tailored with a vision board for the year.
Okay.
You understand? So she wanted a scenario where our theme for the year is quantum leap. Yes. So she wanted a scenario where she's in the quantum realm, and she's levitating, you understand, to project what is it. She wanted to jump or levitate and all of that, but has to happen in the quantum realm. Because I also love to draw inspirations from movies, animations, and all of that, I understood where that is coming from, especially the movie, I think Ant-Man, something, there was a scene, and the Wasp, there was a scene where they entered into the quantum realm and all of that. I was able to create that background through AI, by the way, and then while on set, she also had different poses where she jumped up and all of that, just to give the illusion of levitation. I was able to use AI to create the background, then use Photoshop, content aware, generative fill to be able to put her into that scene to sell that story. I mean, it looks physically doesn't look like there is a place like that, but emotionally, when you hear the story, you connect with it and you understand where it is coming from.
Are there specific AI tools that you're currently using right now that you're like, this is the one, as a creative, you need to get on this?
I have different AIs for different reasons. So ChatGPT is able to take away mental energy when it comes to client communication.
Okay.
I want to express myself, but I want to express it in a very formal, legal, or whatever direction. I'm able to fine-tune what I say, what I put out there, the way I want it in my head, but in a very good way. So when it comes to communication, I use ChatGPT. When it comes to brainstorming, I use ChatGPT. Oh, I have an idea that I need to create. What do you think? What do you think? Can we measure different perspectives? Tell me the difference between these three images. Do you understand? What emotional impact does this image have? You understand? That even also helps me understand the work that I'm creating. And because it has learned from it so much, it's able to dialogue in such a way that it tells you how you think and how you probably thought, what your thought process could be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Number two, AI that I use will be Midjourney to create different mood boards, to create backgrounds. You understand? So I'm able to create mood board for clients. There was a client that reached out to me. It was a bank. They needed to create a photo bank for their bank. They were able to send the short list. You understand? And I was like, okay, let me create a mood board according to your shortlist. And I was able to create it, and it's exactly what is in their head. I'm like, oh my God, how did you create this? All of that. So I'm able to push it to them that I understand your vision. And even with that understanding, I'm able to create a virtual mood board for you to see the end result, what it's supposed to be like after we're done shooting. And then this was really impressive. That's number two. Number three would be, there's this new one that I started using a few weeks ago, Mina by CapCuts.
ByteDance.
ByteDance rather. Thank you. So that also is an image generation AI that's pretty impressive, very very realistic, and it adheres to your prompts. Another one that I use is Kling AI. That is what I use for image to video generation. Yeah, so I'm able to input my image and give it a particular prompt on how I want it to turn it to a visual, and is able to also do that. Canva is another platform that I use. Canva is graphics. I will call it a graphics platform where you can design anything. It has its own AI embedded in it as well, so I'm able to use it as well. And all of these tools that I've mentioned have made process, execution, brainstorming, made it really easy. It took me from a point of what if to why not.
Okay.
Understand? So there is practically no limitation,
right? I mean, if you can imagine it, why not?
Why
Why
not
give
why
it a
not
try?
do it? Why not do it? Yeah,
Absolutely.
so those are the tools that I've been able to incorporate.
Where do you get inspiration to know the exact things to prompt, or what's your prompt process basically?
The beginning of getting the perfect work or the perfect image from AI is not from prompting. It is actually from you. You are the source. If you look at my work, you will see that there's a progression of the fact that I'm always not satisfied with just plain backgrounds. I've always learned how to add an element to my backgrounds. I had a lot of textures, a lot of light flares and everything that I will still incorporate in my works, even back then before I started incorporating AI. So it has been in my head to always add an element of creativity to take whatever image that I'm creating up a notch. So I consume a lot of work that goes beyond the borders of my current state of creativity. You understand? So I'm looking at work that I will look at work that I know that I cannot create it. I'm limited by a few things, maybe my skill set, maybe my environment, maybe my choice of clients. So I will look at those works and it's just be imputed in my mind, which gives me the privilege to be able to now think even wide. So that is where it starts from. What you consume, what you look at, what you read, what you're curious about affects what you're going to create. So for prompting, use this definition, define what you want, put in environment, time of day or whatever the situation is, and then also put camera perspective in it. So follow this prompt and then you're able to create what you want. It doesn't have to be bogus words or big words. A scene featuring a Britain-like scene at a golden hour. It's an outdoor garden with sculptures. Then the sun is shining as a backlight with fog in the scene. That's all. One direction is, if I were to shoot this in real life, what are the elements that I would put in? If you look at my work, fog or smoke has been in my work since the onset. Lighting, some specific kind of, it's been a huge part of it. You understand? So all these elements that I incorporate in these AI things are not new. They are coming from who I am originally. It's just that, just like another tool, I'm able to use AI to bring them to life.
There is this divide where people are thinking, the way AI is going, maybe make I go dust my degree. So what is your thought on that?
Yes, it can be scary. Everything new is scary. When digital camera came, painters were scared.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They were scared to the point where they also came up with a propaganda that photographers are not real artists. Google View 3 came out with a new update 2 days ago, where you see how I am right now and you are, and it's an interview, and there is a voice. We can just sit like this, take a picture, and our interview is done. So what you're asking me, you put it as a prompt. What I'm answering, I put it as a prompt. And all these gestures that you're seeing, hands and everything, is going to put it together. It is not on a large scale or a commercial scale right now, but if you notice the growth of AI,
it's coming. It's coming.
That's example 2 in another field. Example 3 in another field would be a doctor that has 15 years of experience and had to do an x-ray of a patient to know if the patient had pneumonia. He said it took him years in school practice and all of that to be able to look at the x-ray and say that yes, this person has a pneumonia, it's at this stage, this is where it is and all that. It took AI 5 seconds to detect that this person has pneumonia.
Wow.
So to your question,
nobody escapes.
There's no escape. In as much as you're bringing in AI into your work, be very wary that you don't eliminate human experience in your work. And that is why I like to put out how I created this. So you could see from start to finish that there is still an human touch in this. There's still an human experience in this. You understand what I mean? So you still feel alive. All of the time, feedback is one of the major things that is one of the major culture in our brand. So after the session, we are able to ask the clients, how was your shoot? Did you, oh my God, it's so nice. I love the experience. Yeah, that's foremost the satisfaction that we get before we now say, okay, the story that you're trying to tell, right?
Let's do it.
This is what we've been able to create. That is why even on set, I still incorporate a few elements of what I will be using in post-production. You understand? From maybe the reflective floor to maybe the probes, major things like that. You understand? I mean, for my last work, where I created an image of someone in a glass box with lights and all of that, there were elements of what I would be using in the post-production in there. So the client also has an understanding of, for you to put these things in this, okay, I can't wait to see what is going to come out from it. So the human experience is there, and that is one of the major things that we've been able to elevate in my brand. But you need to learn AI. AI will not come for your job, but the people that know how to use AI would come for it.
Thank you so much for making the time for this conversation.
You're welcome.
Really, really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure.
And thank you so much for being with us. Till we see you on the next episode. Be
Peace
good,
out.
stay creative.